We cannot understand Sharia in the West unless we understand Sharia. What does it mean? What is the main difference between Sharia and others? Why we as Muslims believe in Sharia? What are the advantages of Sharia? What are the benefits of Sharia? Some non-Muslims who are not speaking against Islam just from hatred perspective, they misunderstood Sharia. They thought that Sharia is a burden. They thought that we are, as Muslims, believe in Sharia because it happened that it is our religion. It has no benefits, but it is just our religion. No, we believe in because it has so many benefits in the dunya and in the akhirah, as we have explained. I hope that this point is clear for all brothers and sisters. And when we speak about Sharia, we have to speak about it from this angle. Not just we want Sharia. What is it? Just we want Sharia. Why? How? It doesn't make sense. That's why we just want Sharia. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. وبعد. In this series we are discussing this important topic, living Islam in the West. In the previous session we discussed Sharia in the West, and we discussed the definition of Sharia. We started to discuss the main differences between Sharia and any other legal theory. And many people would ask this question: why do we need to understand these things? Let us just discuss Sharia in the West. We cannot understand Sharia in the West unless we understand Sharia. What does it mean? What is the main difference between Sharia and others? Why we as Muslims believe in Sharia? What are the advantages of Sharia? What are the benefits of Sharia? Are you following this? Yeah? Some non-Muslims who are not speaking against Islam just from hatred perspective, no, they misunderstood Sharia. They thought that Sharia is a burden. They thought that we are, as Muslims, believe in Sharia because it happened that it is our religion. It has no benefits, but it is just our religion. It is just our ethnicity, or the religion of our ethnicity. It is just something that we believe in. No, we believe in because it has so many benefits in the dunya and in the akhirah, as we have explained. I hope that this point is clear for all brothers and sisters. And when we speak about Sharia, we have to speak about it from this angle. Not just we want Sharia. What is it? Just we want Sharia. Why? How? It doesn't make sense. That's why we just want Sharia. Okay? Especially in the West. I hope that the point is clear. Let us talk about more differences between Sharia and any other law. And we said that the main difference is Sharia is the legislation of Allah, the divine code, and any other law is just a man-made law. Okay? We mentioned some main differences. One of them, the first one is, of course, the fundamental one is Sharia is what? Is a divine code, is the law of the Creator, is the law of the legislator, is the legislation of Allah Jalla wa Ala, Allah Rabbul Alameen. This is the key difference. The second point is Sharia looks after both lives, the life before death and life after death. The third difference is Sharia looks after the rights of the Creator and the rights of Allah and the rights of the creation. Sorry, again, Sharia looks after the rights of the Creator and the rights of the creation. And as we have said about life before death and life after death, and Sharia looks after both of them without any contradiction between both, without leaving any space for this to go against this. Similarly, Sharia looks after both rights, the rights of Allah Jalla wa Ala and the rights of the creation, because it came from Allah Jalla wa Ala himself. And there is no conflict between the legislation that belongs to Allah and the legislation that belongs to human beings. There is no conflict whatsoever. Now, understanding this point, that there is no conflict and they complement each other, is, as we said, is a very important point. One of its points that is missing in the discourse of so many people is the fact that when we do anything in this dunya, law that Allah Jalla wa Ala sent upon us, for example, we do not involve ourselves in riba. We don't accept to sell, for example, $5 for $8. We do not do this. We do not accept to borrow $1,000 or 1,000 kron for 1,200 crowns. We do not accept this. When we do this, it is good to remember that it is a prohibited action, and we need to remember that this is something that pleases Allah Jalla wa Ala if we don't do it. Okay? So, just once we remember the akhirah aspect and the rights of Allah Jalla wa Ala, in any action that we do, it will add another dimension, another important dimension in our ibadah. And it will make the ibadah more appealing, more beneficial, more spiritual, more rewardable as well, once we do the ibadat with this spirit. I hope that this point is clear. Of course, I have to maybe sometimes go quickly through certain points just because of time. Now, once we talk about the main differences between Sharia and any other law, yes, one more difference is in Sharia, as we said, that it is a divine law, it is a divine practice, it came from the divine. The legislator is Allah Jalla wa Ala. While any other system, the legislator is who? Is human beings. Now, this difference, which is the core difference, leads us to a discussion about democracy. Democracy. Democracy is a very long topic, but I will just mention democracy and the philosophy of democracy and the philosophy of Sharia. Okay? From just one specific angle. Now, Sharia says the legislator is who? Is Allah. In the Qur'an, Allah Jalla wa Ala says, "In al-hukmu illa lillah." Al-hukm belongs to Allah. Hukm, governance, belongs to Allah. In ibadat matters, no. In muamalat matters, only, no. In everything, hukm belongs to Allah. Allah Jalla wa Ala says, وَأَنِ احْكُمْ بَيْنَهُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهِ. Allah Jalla wa Ala commanded Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to rule between everyone by the law of Allah Jalla wa Ala. Allah Jalla wa Ala says also, وَأَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ بِالْحَقِّ مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ وَمُهَيْمِنًا عَلَيْهِ فَاحْكُمْ بَيْنَهُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهِ. We have revealed to you the book that confirms what has been revealed to other prophets, and muhayminan alayh, superior to it, or superior to any other religion or to any other law. فَاحْكُمْ بَيْنَهُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهِ. Rule between them according to what Allah Jalla wa Ala revealed. In the ayah after that, this is in Surah Al-Ma'idah, وَاحْذَرْهُمْ أَن يَفْتِنُوكَ عَنْ بَعْضِ مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ. Be careful. So be careful not to let them divert you. So you do not rule by the law of Allah Jalla wa Ala in some of what Allah Jalla wa Ala have revealed to you. Just some of it. If you leave it, this is a fitna from the disbelievers. So you need to stick to it all. يا أيها الذين آمنوا ادخلوا في السلم كافة. And the ayat of hukum, as you know, وما كان لمؤمن ولا مؤمنة, is not for a believer, female or a male. Once Allah Jalla wa Ala decides something, once Allah Jalla wa Ala and His Messenger decide something, to go against it or not, or to hesitate to accept it. These are Quranic verses to confirm that hukum belongs to Allah. Sovereignty belongs to Allah. There is nothing called secularism in Islam, or secular Muslims, or secular Islam. Okay, Islam means everything. Now, or Islam governs everything. Now, once we say this, okay, this will help us to understand the difference between Islam and democracy. The philosophy of democracy is based on what? People legislate. Even the word, okay, it is a Latin word taken from two words, demos ratio, I think. Yeah, both of them are Latin words, hukm al-sha'b, or the law of people. Now, if we look at this point, the law of people, we'll see that it has so many flaws by itself. Without mentioning any dalil from Qur'an or Sunnah, democracy, or this law of people, or the role of people, or sovereignty belongs to people, yeah, or governance belongs to people. It has so many flaws, errors, yeah. Okay. One of them is, imagine this situation, we are in this room. Imagine that we are in this room and we want to take a break. We have, let us say, 100 people in this room. Just to make it simple, we want to take a break. And we said to people, what do you think? We will leave it to you to decide. We will leave it to you to decide. So this is the hukum of people, the law of people. People are ruling themselves, democracy. Yeah? So it is impossible that all people will agree to stop at one point. This is the nature of the human beings. Some people will say, let us stop now. Some people say, okay, let us stop later. Is that true or not? Yes? Now, either we will see 50-50 or we will see majority versus minority. When there is a majority versus minority, we will go by what? Majority. Agree or not? Yes? When we go about majority, when we go for majority, this is not the law of people. This is the law of what? Of some people. Yes? What about the minority? They have no right. Yes? Some people say we can accommodate, but in certain circumstances we cannot accommodate. Can you see this? Either we stop now or later. We cannot say half of us will stop now, half of us will stop later. Yes or no? Yeah. So either we go by the minority opinion or we go by the majority opinion. But what about the other side? They have no say. So there is no, this is one big flaw regarding what? Regarding democracy. Yes? Moreover, let us say that we want to vote on whether we put the AC on, yeah, or the heater, sorry, it is so called, the heater on or the heater off. So what do you think, brothers, sisters? Some people say, yes, put it on, the heater. Some other people say, put it off. Again, the first point is valid, which is 70-30. If we go for 70, the 30 people will be ignored. Yes? Now, if we say this is the majority, how to define the majority? Imagine if we have 51 versus 49. What are we going to do? Can you see this? If we go for majority, 51 is a majority and 49 is a minority. Just 2 points is the difference. We will go for who? For the majority, which means half of people were ignored. Agree or not? Can you see this? This is another problem. Yes, yeah, brothers? This is another problem. The third problem is, imagine that the AC on or off, there are 4 doctors there, and the rest of the people are not doctors. The doctors say that be careful. If you put it on, yeah, it will become bit hot. We will go outside, it is cold, all of us will have cough or cold or other problems. So leave it little bit, okay? Don't make it hot. This is from our experience as doctors. We said, let us vote. The doctors have their own votes, 1-1-1. So we had 55 who said, yeah, put it on, 45 who said, put it off. 55 said, put it on, they want heat. So the doctor said, be careful, be careful. Not 1, not 2, not 3. Okay, we are 3 doctors, all of us say because of experience, this is not good for you, not good for us. And the rest of the people are not doctors, they don't have any experience. Is it fair? Is it fair to go for the opinion of majority, although it is against simple health facts? Can you see this? Is it clear? Is it fair? It's not fair. The doctors say these are just simple health issues. We are aware of it. This is our specialty. We say no, democracy. Your vote is 1. Similar to any other vote. 1. Yeah, but you don't know. You should listen to us. No, democracy. Come on. This is ridiculous now. Yeah? We are telling you that there are problems. We don't care. Democracy. What about the 45%? Are they going to suffer because of you? This is democracy. Can you see this? Okay. Now, moreover, this is just, I'm not mentioning Qur'an and Sunnah. Am I mentioning Qur'an and Sunnah? This is just simple logic. These are real flaws in democracy. This point, by the way, is a major problem in democracy now. They said that we are making the votes equal because of the notion of equality. But people say, how come you equate between experienced people and non-experienced people? Okay? How come they are equal? Different issues, you have to consult people of experience. Okay? People of experience. You cannot have equal votes in such matters. That's why democracies now are trying to solve this problem by what? By leaving committees to legislate for certain things in order to keep away from this problem. Okay? Moreover, once we say this, look at this situation. Yeah? If, for example, we are here, we said, brothers, sisters, we want to see, yeah? We want to bring some drinks. We have milk and Pepsi. Yeah? Fizzy drinks. We will buy one. Either milk or fizzy drinks, Pepsi. What do you like? Okay, what do you like? Here we found that there are people who are what? Who work for Pepsi, or who are the owners of Pepsi. So they said to the other people, if you go for Pepsi, we will offer it for you free. Yes, but for milk you have to pay. So obviously people will vote for who? For what? For Pepsi. Because of what? Personal gain. Yes? Can you see this? So monopoly can be easily done within the democratic system. Of course, now they are putting certain measures. But the point is, still it has flaws in the system. Now they are discussing who have the right to vote in Norway. Who has the right to vote? Above 18? Above 16? 18. Yeah. They are discussing why not in Britain, let us give the right to vote for those who are above 16. They say, but those who are above 16, they are not completely adults. Yeah? Some people will argue, what about those who are above 18? Look at this. Who decide that those who vote, those who have the right to vote are those who are above 18? Who decided?
Majority.
See? Then we will go into a vicious circle. Look at this. Please, yeah? We need to consult the people. We need to consult the people in order to see who has the right to vote. This is one option. Or I am the leader, I will say, dictate the decision. I will say those who have the right to vote are those who are above 18. People will reject this option because it is what? Dictatorship. Yes? I am imposing my opinion. So the leader will not decide. The people will decide. But when we come to the people to decide, whom we are giving the right to decide? Can you see this? We want to decide who has the right to decide. Can this happen? People will decide who has the right to decide. But who said that those people has the right to decide in the first place? For example, when we say those who have the right to decide are those who are above 18. And then we say, no, we disagree with this. We disagree with this. Okay, what do you think? When we consult you, when we say, what do you think? Who is going to vote? Those who are above 18 or those who below 18? Did you get the point? So if we allow everyone, we need to allow children. Yes? We need to allow children. No, they say, no, come on. Okay, who will decide whether we need to allow children or we do not need to allow children to decide? Who will decide? It is impossible. It is a vicious circle. So if we say, okay, we will let you decide whether the right to vote is given to the people above 18 or to the people above 16. Then when we consult you, are we going to consult those who are above 18 or those who are above 16? So if we vote, if we consult those who are above 18, obviously they will say what? Only those who are above 18 to vote. If we consult those who are above 16, they will vote for who? For those who are above 16 to vote. So it is a vicious circle. Yeah? I hope that it is clear. So this is another logical flaw in the process of democracy. There are many other flaws, but I just want to mention those flaws. Maybe I will mention some others once we talk about Islam and democracy. And that's why Allah Jalla wa Ala, the Creator, solved this problem. He said, in certain matters, human beings will not decide for themselves. I will decide for them. أين الحكم إلا لله. Yeah? Al-Hukm belongs to Allah. You don't need to decide whether alcohol is halal or haram. You don't need to decide whether zina is halal or haram. You don't need to decide the age of marriage. You don't need to decide whether riba can be allowed in a small percentage or not. This is not for you. It is for me. This is what Allah said. Hukum belongs to who? Belongs to Allah. It is not for you. Okay? It is for Allah. Full stop. There are some procedural issues or some other minor issues. Allah gave us certain guidelines and He said, go think about them. Whatever you decide is okay as far as you do not go beyond these outlines. So from one side, He fixed it, so people will not differ on main issues, on key issues. Yeah? They have been given by a neutral one, Allah Rabbul Alameen. Yeah? Moreover, for people to maneuver, Allah Jalla wa Ala gave us what? A framework. Within that framework we have some freedom, which is the matter of ijtihad. You might choose this opinion, I might choose that opinion. Within that framework, we can use democracy as a tool, not as a philosophy. We can use democracy as a tool to choose. Okay? When we come to Islam and democracy, we will see that the process to choose a leader, unlike what many brothers and sisters say, oh, democracy is kufr. We say, wait a minute. Yeah? Wait a minute. In choosing a leader, Allah Jalla wa Ala gave us the framework and the conditions of what? Of the Khalifa. He has to be a righteous person. We cannot accept a Khalifa who is a disbeliever. Yes? We cannot accept a Khalifa who is what? A Richard person. We cannot accept a Khalifa who is an evil person, and so on. Yeah? So this is the first condition and the most important condition. Then Allah Jalla wa Ala said that the Khalifa has to be a male. Then Allah Jalla wa Ala said the Khalifa has to be from Quraysh, from the tribe of Quraysh. So Allah Jalla wa Ala gave us the certain requirements. We took those requirements and we found that there are 10 people like this. 10 people like this. How to choose among them? Now this is what? A procedural issue. How to implement the process. Is it clear? So now we have 10 candidates. How to choose? So we use democracy as a tool to choose within the framework of what? Of what has been given to us by Allah. Yeah? So we have A, B, C, D. Now, to say that, okay, males and females will have equal rights, rich, poor have equal rights to have equal votes, above 18, below 18, above 16, below 16, we can decide on this. Is not a big issue as far as we are playing within the framework. You want to call this democracy, you want to call it shirk or kufr, sorry. You want to call this democracy, you want to call this shura, the matter is flexible. But don't jump and say this is democracy and democracy is kufr. This shows that you have shallow thinking. Yeah, you do not know what you are talking about. Is it clear? So this gives a balanced view regarding democracy and what? And the Islamic way. Anyway, we discussed democracy and we were planning to discuss it in Islam and politics. But the point here is Sharia, yes, Sharia did not give the right, the Sharia did not give the full right to legislate to people. Sharia gave the full right to legislate to Allah. But Allah, listen to this, Allah gave people some flexibility in certain matters. They did not get this by themselves. So the right to legislate belongs to Allah fully. And He is the one who said that within this framework, you can make ijtihad, no problem. Is it clear? Yes. Please, once you understand this, you will understand big issues regarding Sharia, democracy, kufr, Sharia in the West, and so on and so forth. Okay. Let us proceed. Among the main differences between Sharia and any other non-divine system is this point that I have mentioned, the inner factor versus the external factor. Just because of time, maybe I will just mention it quickly, although it is very important. What do we mean by the inner factor and the external factor? The inner factor, Sharia, builds the control from within and focuses on the internal control rather than focusing on what? The external control. So in Sharia, the first line of policing is who? Is yourself, is the iman, internally. But in man-made law, there is no first line of policing. The first line of policing is police, external factor. They say ethics. And ethics, yes, maybe some people say the ethics, your values should stop you. Yes, but that is not included in the law. Yeah? The law says if you steal, the law did not say stealing is haram between you and Allah or as a value. It is haram. It is prohibited. If you steal, you will receive this punishment. So, it teaches people, it educates people, it nourishes nourish, gives tarbiyah. It nourishes people to what? To be afraid of the external factor rather than focusing on what? The internal factor. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means that if I feel that I am secure, safe from the external factor, I can do whatever I want to do. Agree or not? So if there is no CCTV camera to watch me, whether I am passing the speed limit or whether I am stealing, I will do it. Yeah? Because by time, people rely on the external factor and forget about the inner factor. But Sharia is focusing more on the inner factor. And Sharia says that you need to fear Allah first before thinking of the external law, whether you will be punished or not. Yeah? لمن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر. Everything لمن يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر, for those who believe in Allah and His Messenger. Yeah? Is this point clear? Moreover, brothers and sisters, really the man-made law leads to depression. Why? Because if you see the amount of laws that exist in the West, incredible, unbelievable. And moreover, the amount of external factors that monitor you, yeah, is unbelievable. Why? Because people, if they feel that they are safe from the law, they will what? They will violate it. So imagine, brothers and sisters, a big store of iPhone and mobile phones, iPhones in particular because young people like them, and Samsung phones, yeah, and iPads, and there is no CCTV camera. Yeah, will you think that this store will be safe from burglary and theft? Yeah, it will vanish in. That's why in London, you remember the riots last year in London? Have you heard of the riots? Yeah, in London, it was a shock for the whole community. Although I believe that out of the evilness of some elements in the government, they buried the subject because they knew that this is a huge problem and it revealed so many essential key problems in the engineering of the society, in the structure of the society. Unbelievable. They found that teachers were stealing from the stores. People work for the council. Yeah? People work for the government. Professionals stealing from the stores. Young people, old people, all types of people stealing from the stores. One brother, he is in charge of one of the, is it PC World or another store? He said, Wallahi, yeah, the store, even the shelves were stolen within less than 2 days. Huge store. Everything was taken. Everything was taken. Why is this? No, what? They say no values. Yes, values. Where are the values are going to come from? The values, where are they going to come from? Yeah? It is the nature of the human beings They are looking for their own benefits, interests, the desires. So if the values are not that strong values, they will leave them. And this is what has happened. Okay? When there is no external factor, no CCTV cameras, people will just violate and do whatever they want to do. But for a Muslim, even if he sees it in front of him, yes, and he knows that Allah is watching him, he will not steal. You might find exceptions, yeah, but as a norm, or at least this is what Islam teaches. People who leave Islam, they will do something else, of course. Is this point clear? This is the inner factor. On the other side, the point about depression that I have mentioned, because of the amount of external monitoring systems, CCTV cameras in London, they said there are more than 400,000 CCTV cameras. It is the biggest number in the world. Yeah? So the person becomes depressed. If I just, you know, in London there is the city center and the bus lane. Yeah? The bus lane. If you go into the bus lane, the camera will what? Will photo your, will take picture of your car, of your the plate. Yeah? And immediately, automatically a fine. And sometimes the fine is £180 to go to the bus lane. So when a person, for example, is driving and all of a sudden something happened, he might go to the other car and not go to the bus lane. Because what? CCTV camera. And the person will be always afraid, oh, the CCTV camera now, yeah, I will receive a fine. So CCTV cameras everywhere. He will feel depressed after some time. Fine from this, fine from that, fine from this. And this is what is happening in London. Too much, too much. On the other side, when the person feels that it is legitimate ethically for me, from an ethical perspective, to violate the law, according to Islam, you can't violate the law if you feel sincerely that you can violate the law ethically. How can you violate the law ethically? How? Yeah? For example, the speed cameras. You have an injured person with you. You have an injured person with you. And you need to drive quickly in order to what? Save his life. So now this is what? An ethical action, an ethical activity that you are involved in. Now, according to law, we don't care. The cameras, yeah, fines. But if we left it to you, and your inner factor is strong enough, you will decide yourself. I will do it when I need it. Allah is monitoring me. If wallahi genuinely I was doing it, yes, I was doing it to save the life of another person, you are forgiven. In fact, you are rewarded. Can you see this factor? Can you see the difference? And this gives you freedom. You are free to decide based on your iman, based on your subconscious. But according to the man-made law, they are deciding for you. So you are being imprisoned, enslaved by their laws. Yeah? Okay. This is anyway, other important factors. They are telling me that we are running out of time. Other important differences, you can see here preventive measures and punishment versus punishment. briefly, Sharia puts a lot of attention to what? To prevent the crime before it happens. Yes? While the law, any man-made law, they put attention to the punishment of the crime. So let it happen, we will punish him. Yes? Take for example fornication and zina. Yeah? In man-made law, if the person commits zina, we will punish him. Yeah? طبعا some laws, some other laws, there is no punishment. Sharia says women have to wear hijab, men have to lower their gaze. This is a measure. Yes? No free mixing, no seclusion, no nudity, no promiscuity, and so on. So these are measures to what? To help you not to fall into the crime. And once you fall, you deserve to be punished. And that's why what is happening in the West is a disaster. They let people, a few days ago I had a debate, like a debate on BBC Asia Network radio. One of the states in India, they imposed, one of the schools in one of the states in India, they stopped women, or they stopped girls, from wearing revealing clothes. You know, revealing clothes? Tight jeans and short skirts. A non-Muslim college. And they were discussing this. Do they have the right to do this or not? Yes? And some people, in fact, many people, many callers, they said yes, they have the right because the women have to be protected. If this is going to lead to problems, and men will attack them, or men will rape them or harass them, then they need to take this measure. Some other people said, no, this is against the freedom of expression. Let women do whatever they want to do. Let girls wear whatever they want to wear, and men have to lower their gaze. And if they don't do, they need to be punished. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why? Because you are provoking young people. Imagine young people in front of him, mashallah, that pretty girl wearing a skirt. And what will happen to him? Of course, he will be provoked. And then in front of many men, if one controls himself, the other controls himself, the third controls himself, the fourth, there will be someone who will harass her. So instead of being harassed, why don't you wear conservative clothes? Agree? This is a measure. But they don't want this measure because they want freedom, and they don't want any price for this freedom. And we always say freedom has a price. And the price might what? Outweigh the freedom. So sometimes you need to compromise your freedom in order to avoid what? Bigger problems. In other words, you need to compromise your freedom in order to avoid compromising what is more important than your freedom. So for example, as a lady, I need to compromise on my freedom in clothes in order to avoid compromising my chastity. In order to protect myself. I hope that I think the matter is clear. I don't want to mention the other 2 points because, or the other main difference. I think we mentioned it a little bit, balance between individual and society. Now, Sharia in the West. Okay. The third, the conclusion. Okay, let us mention the conclusion. Once we talk about Sharia in the West, let us remember what we said about the definition of Sharia. What is the definition of Sharia? Sharia is Islam. Agree or not? Does Islam exist in the West? Yes. Is Islam applied in the West? Is it applied or not? Huh? It is applied. Not fully, but many Islamic practices are implemented in the West. Agree or not? We pray by Sharia. We pray by Islam. In the West, we build our mosques. Yesterday we went to this at Tawfiq Mosque. MashaAllah, Tabarakallah. 5 floors in the heart of Oslo. No one would imagine this. This is Sharia in Oslo. Yeah? You need to put in the title, Sharia in Oslo. Is that true or not? No, it is true. Sharia in Oslo. That mosque is what? That mosque is Sharia. Yes or no? Of course it's Sharia. Or is it a man-made law? We go there to worship Allah. We go there to face the Qibla, which is what? Sharia. We eat halal meat according to Sharia. Is that true or not? We see big signs. Yeah? What Alibaba, I don't want to give any promotion for any restaurant, but yesterday some of the Alibaba or what, halal. Yes? Kebab, halal. Is this Sharia or not? MashaAllah, sisters wear hijab. They wear hijab according to what? According to disbelief law. This is according to the law of Allah, Sharia. So, in a nutshell, there are many elements of Sharia that are already implemented in the West. So no need to go and shout, we want Sharia in the West. Many aspects of Sharia are already implemented in the West. Yeah? We don't want to provoke people to hate the word Sharia, yeah, by using silly argument or non-Islamic even terms. Okay? So, if that is the case, do we want something else in the West other than mosques and halal meat or so? This will be, inshallah, discussed in the coming episode. وجزاكم الله خيرا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين.